Making the second YouTube video, I have to admit, it was harder than the first. Initially, I had this idea that the hard part would be getting started and getting the ball rolling. But now I can see that the real challenge lies in keeping that ball rolling and building momentum. I think with any creative project, a key factor to its long-term success and completion is to be consistent. And by starting a YouTube channel, I knew that one of the biggest things on my mind was whether or not I was going to be able to keep up with creating content on a regular basis due to my demanding schedule. My schedule is currently really busy. I have a full-time job, a part-time job, I'm a father, and I run a business on the side. And with all these responsibilities, there's very little time left in the day for me to work on the long list of creative projects that I have. These creative projects constantly weigh on me. I feel this almost anxiety for not completing them or not moving them forward. I get discouraged constantly putting them on the back burner to other things that are going on in my life. And at times I can even feel a sense of hopelessness or even depression because I feel like I'm not even inching closer to those goals. These days, I'm trying to be more accountable for my personal goals. I try to remind myself that even though I'm busier than I ever was before, that's still no excuse from chasing those creative goals that I do have, that bring me a sense of fulfillment. And if I want to accomplish these goals, I'm going to have to tap into my most valuable resource, my time. So I've been on this journey to search for more time in my busy schedule, and I found that mornings at the beginning of the day work best for me. And on my journey, I found that there was this very special time, early in the morning, before my family woke up, that I could get a lot done. So now the goal was to wake up earlier. I started in small increments. I would set my alarm clock 15 minutes earlier every week, trying to find out what was too early and what was early enough. So a few weeks in, I was waking up 30 minutes early. And in that 30 minutes, I could get a lot done. And eventually, that became 2 full hours that I had to myself to work on my personal goals. So today, now I find myself waking up in this sweet spot around 4:30 to 5:30 a.m. Even without an alarm, I'm just waking up and I'm ready to go. I now had carved out this time that I could use to work on anything I wanted to, without any interruptions or distractions. So in the beginning of creating a new morning routine for myself that was going to lead to a more productive day, I tried to target in on a personal goal of mine that wasn't necessarily tied to the creative process, and that was going to the gym. I found for me that going to the gym first thing in the morning was a really good way to start the day on a high note. It really helped me create this point first thing in the morning to shift my physical, mental, and emotional state. This not only gave me a great boost of energy to go out throughout the rest of my day, made me feel great, but it also set kind of a standard for the day. Going to the gym has always been a really hard thing for me in the past to get into, so getting that hard thing done first thing in the day really helped me set a momentum that carried me through the rest of my days. It gave me a much needed win first thing in the morning. It's even better than coffee sometimes, believe it or not. Having this physical and mental win over my day also provided me with a creative boost that would then help carry over to my creative projects that I would work on next. So coming home from the gym, I have about an hour left to work on whatever I want to. And this usually will be one of my creative projects that I have. At first, I remember thinking that an hour didn't feel like enough time, and an hour can fly by really fast. Then I would soon find out that an hour a day a week turns into a significant amount of time. And then you spread that over a couple of months, and then you can see the real power of those hours. This is a principle that I came across in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, which he talks about Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law states that work expands so as to fill the time for its completion. This means that if we take two different groups, Group A and Group B, and we give Group A 8 hours to finish a project, and Group B 2 hours to finish a project, they'll both finish that project. And in scientific studies, it's shown that the group that had less time tends to be more productive and more effective at achieving their goal. This is because that second group with less time tends to be more efficient with their work. When the other group with 8 hours, they might take a lunch break, or they might spend a lot of time brainstorming ideas that will never make it into the final project. So how do I use my hour a day? I'll usually use my hour to work on writing, which is at the foundation of most of my work. Whether it's writing scripts for YouTube or writing copy for a newsletter or website, writing can also serve as a catalyst for my projects. I do a lot of brainstorming or free writing during that time. I also use this time to write out the plan for my projects and plans for my days. I've also found that writing helps me whenever I get stuck. If I hit a creative block or I find myself just not in a good place in life, I use writing to help find a solution around those challenges. It really helps me sort things out when I write things down. Writing has this ability to give me a different perspective of the current issues that I'm facing, and to also develop a strategy to get around these different challenges. I've been writing for a long time now, either on my computer or in notebooks, and I can go back and look at old journal entries and see how writing has really helped transform my life and taken me to where I am now. I can go back and see that even through some of my hardest times, I was able to work myself out of these challenges, and a lot of that came through my writing. Sometimes when I write, I like to think of it as almost having a conversation with myself, to do an analysis on myself and figure out why I'm feeling the ways that I'm feeling right now, and to even ask myself, what am I willing to do to make my situation better? So using those morning hours, I wrote the script for this video, and I usually can find a day in my week where I have time to shoot the video and edit it at the same time. You can see with this video, I haven't used much B-roll. That does take up a lot of time to go out and shoot B-roll, which is like the background footage, like I have in my first video. But that is a decision that I decided to make sure I just get a video out. But now that summer's coming to an end here in Sweden, my schedule is going to be shifting, and my week to week is going to be different. I hope this means I can be more consistent and put more production value into the videos that I make into the future. The change in my schedule, of course, brings some uncertainty. I'm always worried that any changes will mess things up. I won't have time to go to the gym in the morning, which may screw up the rest of my day. But I like to think that I can adapt to no matter what happens in my life. Maybe I'll have to use my writing time to solve that problem in the future. But I now know that going into the fall and winter, no matter what happens, I now have a few systems that I can fall back onto that have consistently worked in the past. Now I realize this system may not be the fastest way to get growth and viewership and followership here on YouTube, but that's not what I'm able to do right now. I've learned that I must work in the context of my current reality. Having 2 small kids, a part-time, full-time job, trying to create a business, working with clients, living in a new country, that's my reality right now. So that's what I've got to work within. But as a creative, I try to remind myself to use creativity to find a solution to the problem. I hope this video gave you something to think about. Maybe you connected with some things that I said while you go through your own journey. If you didn't find anything, I hope you understand that I'm making this video just for the purpose of creating something, keeping any viewers out there that follow me informed and updated on what's going on with this channel. But I hope you got something from it, and I hope you stay tuned because I have a lot more that I want to share with you. Thanks.